So the schedule has been announced, and the shows are, of course, Bleach, Dead Man Wonderland, Casher and Sins, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Ghost in the Shell, and Cowboy Bebop. But so yes, most of the shows on the schedule are shows that we already know, that we have already seen, and there's only 2 new shows. Now, here's the reason for that. They had a lot of issues going on inside, behind the scenes. A lot of these issues were their budget. They have a really low budget, so that's one issue. So there's just certain shows that they couldn't get due to the fact that, they cost so high just to license. And then there's shows like Naruto, which are Disney still has the license to. So even though Disney doesn't air it on any of their channels, they still have the license to Naruto, and that keeps Adult Swim from getting it for Toonami. Same problem with Dragon Ball Z, whether it's Dragon Ball Z Kai or just plain Dragon Ball Z, they have the same problem because Nickelodeon and Toonami has the rights to those. Or, just whatever. Nickelodeon has the licensing rights to those. To air those on TV. What other? Peter Cullen won't be doing the voice for the promos, so because he's busy with Transformers and Eeyore right now, so he's doing other things. They can't use John Boyd Vigil, or not that, Joe Boyd Vigil, sorry, because they can't afford the music. They're working on a really low budget, so they have to look to other sources and kind of follow their own muse. They will not have Sarah. So Sarah won't be around for a while because she costs too much money to animate. And they don't have the funds for it. Steve Blum is voicing Tom out of pure love, meaning he's voicing Tom for free because he misses voicing Tom. And also, Adult Swim, they don't have enough in their budget to pay him for his work, so if he's doing voiceovers for free, that should tell you something right there. Like, that alone, the fact that he's willing to do this for, the fact that he loves doing it, should tell you that they're putting this all together just for us. Jason DeMarco, the guy in charge, did say they're all excited to be putting Toonami together again, despite all these setbacks, like the limited resources they have for all the promos and stuff, the licensing rights, which they're still trying to get a hold of a lot of licenses, but these things do take time, and they do need more funding for it before they can even get certain shows. They're even going to try doing promos and music videos and game reviews. So that is something we should support. The fact that they're still going to be trying and trying to do all this. I did ask him about Inflate movies. He says perhaps he's not sure yet about them, if they'll be able to do it or not. The total immersion events, I asked about that too. He says, "Woo, we are a long way away from that resources for that." So meaning right now they can't even think about doing any of those kind of events. Where they had the little games and episodes for Toonami. Those were total immersion events. So they can't do any of that, then that tells you that they're in need of desperate help right now. They're all excited. They're struggling to put on the show for us. We wanted it back. They're trying to give it to us. So the least we can do is support them and watch it, help it grow into what it was, because Toonami didn't become Toonami overnight, and it is starting all over again, just like it's a brand new thing. So think of this as a launch. Like, yes, it's a relaunch, but think of it as just a launch. Like 1997 when Toonami first launched. Um, Adult Swim is separate from Cartoon Network. They separated from Cartoon Network in 2004, so they rent, the channel space, even though they're on the same channel as Cartoon Network. Like, there's still some separate from it. And the only reason April Fool's was able to air the way it did was because Mike Lazo, from Cartoon Network and all, provided the funding for the Toonami April Fool's airing. And that was more than enough to do everything that one night. As far as why they were able to air all the shows they did on that night, is because they didn't need to get any special licensing deals or anything. They just pretty much had to call up all the owners of the content, meaning like Funimation or whoever owned all the anime that was on that night, and asked them if they could air it just for the night. All they needed was, a word of approval from mouth, and they got it for that one night. So that's why all that was able to go on with no problem, because it was a one-time thing, and they don't need special contracts for those. They just need word of mouth permission. Our schedule may not be the dream schedule we wanted right now, but the only way to get it to what we want it to be is, to support it, help it grow, watch it. Because the more that people tune into it, the more they'll give us, the more shows they'll give us, the less repeats we'll see, and the more promos we'll see, and more Tom and Sarah again. Eventually, she'll be back. But they can't do that without our help. It's in desperate need of help. I mean, if Steve Blum is doing voiceovers for free, they don't have much money for anything. So, I mean, the fact that they're trying to give this back to us, and even earlier than we even expected. I mean, this is like 2 months after April Fool's, This is really early, and the fact that we know it's coming back Saturday, because most people would have expected maybe October, September, October. So I don't know about any of you, but I am definitely grateful. I will support it. I hope a lot of you support it, because we wanted this. And if you're complaining about Dragon Ball Z, which you can see on Nicktoons, which is a Nickelodeon channel, or Naruto, which you can pretty much buy the DVDs, and they've gotten plenty of exposure, then there's something wrong with you, because you wanted a nostalgia trip. And that's not the reason a lot of us wanted Toonami back. We wanted it back because we enjoyed the block. We enjoyed seeing different things from, that Toonami had to offer. It was a great way to advertise the anime, and not only anime, but video games too. Like, think back to April Fool's, the review of Mass Effect 3, which it was like, wow, oh my god, that's new. Because it started all the speculation that, were they considering bringing it back for real from the start? And the answer is no, they weren't, but due to all the responses from that night, they then seriously started to consider it. And now that's going through, a lot of people are getting cold feet, like, oh, it's going to suck just because it doesn't have, all the classic shows that we knew on it. But guess what? They didn't get those overnight, because I remember when it started, they had Super Friends, they had I forget what this cartoon was, but it was a mixture, and it even had like 1960s Superman animated cartoon. They had Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. They had Thundercats. They, all these things that were pretty much American made or older Japanese anime like Voltron and stuff, and then eventually they got Sailor Moon on the block. They got Dragon Ball Z on the block. Reboot. So, it started to grow by the next year, and eventually it became so popular that started getting new stuff like Naruto, Mir, and stuff. But when Stuart Snyder took over in 2007, he started to cut all the funding from animated programming, which includes Toonami. So they lost anime one by one, had to replace it with shows that were already on Cartoon Network. And then from there it went downhill, and then when they changed Tom from version 3 to version 4, that made things worse. But it was all due to Stuart Snyder trying to fund live action, which was on pretty much from 2008 or 7 being out of Jimmy's head all the way up until 2010. It was just nothing but live action on Cartoon Network, like a channel that's meant to advertise animated programming. So that was just, horrible timing. And the higher ups above Stuart Snyder said, "Hey, you're just killing the channel. You better put animated programming or you're fired." Something like that, I would imagine, because you can definitely tell when someone new takes over a network due to drastic programming changes. So now that we know, where Cartoon Network went wrong, Adult Swim, they're separate from Cartoon Network. Like, they share the channel with Cartoon Network. They're still like involved with Cartoon Network, but they're their own separate thing right now. So they're running off of their own funds, and they don't funds, and they do not have much. So if we want to see more for Toonami, we better support it. I mean, I don't know about a lot of you, but I didn't. I sure enough didn't do all that tweeting and retweeting, bring back Toonami for nothing, making videos, trying to spread the word any way I can. And a lot of you didn't either, I'm sure. So you better support this. We wanted it back. They're trying to give it to us. So let's keep it going and get more for it. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I hope you all have a good night, and hopefully we get some good news by Saturday. So maybe even enjoy the lineup on Saturday. But anyway, have a good night, y'all. Hopefully I'll make another video on things soon. I wanted to make a video game video, but I thought this needed more attention because, seeing all these complaints, it's pretty stunning to see that all these people are who say they wanted it back are complaining because they can't watch shows that they may already own on DVD, on TV, or shows that they can buy easy. Because let me tell you about anime here in Florida. They do not advertise it. I mean, the only DVDs I could find of anime are Dragon Ball Z, because why? That's been on nearly every channel that has animation on it. That might sound like an exaggeration, but anything that has animation, that's pretty much where it was at. And Naruto was on Cartoon Network and Disney for a short period of time. And the manga, that's the only one that sells here, aside from Sailor Moon, which is, making a comeback. Anyway, good night, y'all. And really, support Toonami. We didn't do this for nothing, so. And they say they need our helps by just us viewing the channel. So even if you don't watch what's on the lineup, keep your TV, your cable box, whatever, tuned to the channel. and help the ratings go up, they'll be paying attention